After you've finished with your design, you're going to want to print it. Now, sending a high resolution PDF file is the preferred way. Some printers will accept your native document, but they really don't like it because you can have errors when you open a file on a different computer, and this is usually related to fonts. So sometimes even if the same font is on a different computer because it's from a different type foundry, it can look just a tad different. So high resolution PDF is the way to go. But before we go out, we'll just check that we've got everything right here. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. So if I go into the normal mode here in InDesign, I can see that all my text is within the margins. And in InDesign we've got this nice little feature which is called bleed mode. And there I can see that my images extend all the way out to the end of the bleed, plus this little bar there that goes there. And I can check the resolution in my image here. Here I'll select this one, go to my images, look down, and the effective PPI is the one that I'm really interested in, and that's way more than 300. So although it's too big, it's not really a problem because exporting to PDF is going to downsample this for us, which we'll be getting into in just a minute. So we're ready to export. I'll just go back into preview mode here so that we're seeing the trim version. And if you're using different software, obviously accessing the PDF export is going to be a little bit different than this, but the principles apply. So I'll go File, Export, and in InDesign you have two options, PDF Interactive and PDF Print. Definitely want to choose Print, and I'll just accept this name that we have here and I'll hit Save. Now, Adobe PDF comes with a number of presets. Press quality is a good starting point. There's a lot of other ones here which I'm not going to go into the detail of them at the moment, but press quality is a good starting point. And if you don't have this, you can just make the adjustments yourself to the options I'm going to show you here. You're going to want to print all the pages and view the PDF after exporting. Other than that, you don't need to worry a lot about this tab. We'll go over to compression. And remember I was saying that this image over here had way too much resolution. Well, PDF will downsample it to whatever you want, and we'll downsample it to 300 ppi for images above 450. And this is for color images. It does the same for grayscale images. Monochrome images, that's just line drawings, no grayscale in it. They need a little bit more resolution, so 1200 is good for that. So these settings are normally very good if you were printing something really high-end, for example on a line screen printer that actually needed much more resolution. You can just go in and change this to 400 pixels per inch. And it's not actually going to downsample anything that's around 400 ppi because it's only going to do it for images above 450. But I could type in 300 there and that would force everything down to 300 ppi. Because these settings are pretty good, I'm just going to leave it as it is for that. But I like to use zip compression because you don't lose any compression on it, whereas JPEG you can lose some quality. So I like to use zip because there's no loss, even though it'll make the file a little bit bigger. So the next thing you want to look at is marks and bleeds. Now down here at the bottom, bleed and slug, use the document settings, and remember when we set up the page we put in the bleed, it automatically picks this up, so that is going to get printed. If you don't do this, then it'll just print it at the trim size. So you need to make sure that your bleed settings are set so that this gets printed. And you can put in printer marks if you want. Sometimes I don't bother because your printer isn't going to use these crop marks. They're going to create their own. But just for your own use, you can put in crop marks. They're really not going to use any of this other information here. So I never bother with that. Sometimes I'll put the crop marks in just for my own purposes. The other important thing you need to be aware of is the output. You need to convert it to the destination. If you use no color conversion and you have an RGB image, it will not get converted to the print necessary CMYK. So you must convert it to the destination. And here we have document CMYK. That's a good one to use. A lot of printers I work with use this coded gray call 2006. So I would normally choose this one. But if you're not sure about this, go and ask your printer. Just say, what color destination or color conversion mode do you want me to use? And they will use it. If you're not really sure, just go ahead and use the working CMYK. That will work as well. And that's really all you need to worry about. And then you'll hit export. I'm not going to do it here because I've already created this file. I'll just cancel out and I'll bring up Acrobat, and there it is. There's the file completed. We've got the crop marks in it. That tells us where everything's going to get trimmed, and you send this to your printer and they will be happy, and you'll get a great quality printing every time.